Well, hello my beautiful people. I was 0% planning on vlogging today, but I don't know, I was just making breakfast and I was like, Lexi, you should do a full day of eating. Actually what triggered it is Alignment Athletics, my business, if you did not know. We're doing like a free gut health challenge. And every day there's like a daily task that we have to do, just little things that will help anyone improve their, not just digestion, but overall gut health. Today's task is to include a fruit or veggie at 3 of your meals. And I was like, yo, I know this is something a lot of people struggle with. I'm just gonna show you guys some really, really easy ways to get them in because, yeah. You guys know if you watch my full days of eating, like they're nothing glamorous, but I do really, really prioritize not just getting in my fruits and veggies, but getting in different vitamins, minerals, nutrients, fiber, things like that. And it's just fun to share that stuff with you guys. And on the flip side, I know you really like full days of eating. So with that, let's do this thing. We have some pancakes, egg whites, and raspberries. I used a serving of the gluten-free Kodiak cakes mix, which I just found this when I moved to Austin at HEB. It's so freaking good. I just used like 1/3 of a scoop of the blueberry muffin vegan protein, so it's only like a few grams of protein, but it still tastes so good. Added a little bit of applesauce, because why not? And then a whole egg. So that's how I make my pancakes. Just mix it all together, put them in the pan. You can see they're like fluffy. And then I have my raspberries. Raspberries are such a good source of fiber. I'm pretty sure 100 grams of raspberries, which this is 75, okay? So 100 grams of raspberries has like 7 grams of fiber. We love that. And it tastes good. I did already make cold brew. I just made it here this morning. I put almond milk and a little bit of creamer in it. But besides that, it's gonna be a full day of eating, hitting our fruits and veggies, getting them in easy ways. So let's get it rolling. Okay, it's like many hours later. Guys, I'm basically just doggy daycare. I have 3 friends, 3 of my best friends have dogs, and I'm just like the go-to person when they go out of town. And I totally forgot until yesterday that me and Mr. River are gonna be hanging out for the next week. So he's an Australian Shepherd, and he's like super, super chill, which I knew, but he is only like a year old, so we just have to like get a lot of energy out. But there is a dog park here, so that makes things a lot easier than at my old place where I'd like walk. We don't have time for that, but we just got back from a walk, and I'm gonna eat again here soon, so I'll show you that. And there we have it. Gluten-free English muffin, cream cheese jelly, and then I have some avocado, or I should say it's like pre-made guac, and turkey, and then a little egg white omelet. I'm actually about to go to the gym. Recently it's been like so nice in the afternoons here. So I've been training in the afternoon, which I will say I really like my routine with training in the morning, but we're being flexible. And it does feel good to have like a few meals, or I should say a couple meals in me. This is going to be my pre-workout. But my next tip as far as getting micronutrients in, this bad boy. My veggies, and I said with breakfast, like fruit has a ton of micronutrients, but you do need to make sure you're getting your greens and your veggies in. And I know sometimes like prepping veggies in advance, it doesn't taste as good. That is another tip though, just prep them in advance. I'll do that with like my carrots sometimes in the air fryer. Those stay really good and like don't get soggy. Same with like if you get halved Brussels sprouts. Having those prep makes it really, really easy, but it's so easy to just throw spinach into things. You know, if you really don't like it, put it in a smoothie, right? Like that's such an easy way to get a ton of micronutrients. This is like 3 tips in one. Spinach, prep your veggies, smoothies, right? 'Cause then you can add fruit, you can add veggies. I'm not gonna have a smoothie today, but spinach is just so easy, right? Like this meal it would be really easy to just like throw some egg whites there, but we have our spinach and we have our mushrooms, so we're getting some micronutrients and some fiber. Spinach also, if you are someone who you have a hard time going over your fiber, it's a lower fiber veggie, so it's not gonna cause too much digestive disruption if that's something that you struggle with. Okay, confession, I forgot to bring you guys to the gym, but so you can probably tell by the big t-shirt and socks, it was a leg day. It's my leg day uniform. We hit some PRs, which was nice. And obviously, well, maybe not obviously, if you didn't know, I am in a calorie deficit right now. And one thing I talked about on my Instagram the other day is like, just because you're in a calorie deficit doesn't mean you should be getting weaker. That's just a myth I hear thrown around all the time. That being said, I didn't mention this earlier, but I think I'm ovulating right now. I should probably check in the app I use. I use the Flow app, F-L-O. And whenever I'm ovulating, I get like an air bubble in my stomach, and it almost feels like food's just sitting there. But I know it's air because I'll like burp it up, as gross as that sounds. It makes me have like no appetite, which is so funny because yesterday I was like hungry. Like I finally just got probably like in like a deficit. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so hungry. And today I'm like, I just feel so gross. With the whole like fruit and veggies thing, I am just really focusing on getting in veggies that like aren't super full of fiber, aren't super filling, and that kind of thing, and just eating like lower volume food. Anyways, that leg day did help a little bit, but I am going to make up my post-workout meal. So anyways, we're gonna whip that up. Next little tip, I'm gonna air fry some asparagus. So this sounds like common sense, but y'all know, like I said, I'm the queen of just like fast, easy meals, and sometimes that comes at the expense of me just being like, okay, like I'm just gonna throw some veggies in the microwave or like in the air fryer. Make your food taste good, okay? So if you didn't know, I always just break off the bottoms of the asparagus like this, and go like this. And I don't weigh out my veggies. Like I'm just tracking 3 ounces of asparagus so I know my fiber intake and calling it good. But I need to get more cooking spray, but we're just gonna spray them. And then I'm gonna put some garlic salt and then some of this seasoning from Trader Joe's. It's really freaking good. Cheesy seasoning blend. So I honestly just air fry them while I make my food in the pan. It's another thing. Make stuff in a pan when you can, because it tastes way better than the microwave. In a long time, I went to the grocery store the other day and I was like, I need a new something to like spice up the flavor of my meals. And I saw tahini. It's usually by the nut butter or in the Asian section if you want to try it. And I was like, yo, I have not had this in a minute. So if you didn't know, tahini is sesame seeds. Ooh, look at that beauty. And it's a really, really good fat source with a lot of nutrients in it. So anyways, I'm gonna use this on this meal. We have our jasmine rice. I put some chicken thigh in there that I just had prepped. And then the asparagus, I also threw some more spinach in there just because it's about to go bad. And then like half a serving of goat cheese and a little bit of tahini. That is gonna be my post-workout meal. Really prioritizing my carbs. This happened last vlog too. I was supposed to go get delights with my friend Tiffany. And she's like not feeling good. I was like saving some macros for that, which usually is like not a big deal. It's like pretty like low carb. I have a little bit more food to play with, which is fun, and honestly just meant more rice. I don't like change anything. I'm just like, oh, I have more carbs, so I'll add more rice. You know what I mean? But anyways, I'm gonna get back to work. It's 7 o'clock. This dude is just so energetic, aren't you, River? I'm used to dogs being all over me. And this dude is just so uninterested. And I'm like, you're so chill, but I'm kind of offended. Kind of offended. Proof I took my greens. I didn't show you.
They're chocolate though, so they look brown. It's gonna be a brown stash. Crazy boy.
I haven't done one of those on Instagram in a minute, but I did take my greens. The chocolate greens are out of stock right now, but they should be restocked very, very soon. I know I've shown these a bunch, but such an easy way to get in micros if you've been slacking during the day, which I haven't, but my friend like tagged me in that and I was like, I gotta do it. And honestly, greens, and I touched on this before, like you shouldn't take them for anything other than to just get in a wide variety of micros. Just an easy way to get in some nutrientes. Oh my god. Okay, so as you shower, I'm doing my purple hair mask. Obviously, I didn't just dye my hair purple or anything. I do this like once every couple weeks, and I just wanted to show you guys just random little insight into Lexi's life. This mask is so strong. I bought it on Amazon. If you're blonde and like you get highlights or you dye your hair blonde, you know the brassiness struggle. It's like, I get it done in 1 minute, it's like silvery blonde, and then, you know, a couple weeks later it like turns yellow. So this just helps it get rid of the brassiness, but you have to be really careful because it is really strong. And I've had it like dye my hair or like my skin purple before. But yes, you need. But yeah, I just leave this in for like, I'll probably only do like 3 minutes. I did 10 when I had my extensions, but obviously I had a lot more hair. And then I just let it air dry. I mean, sometimes I'll blow dry it, but I just don't feel like it tonight. But I condition it after I wash the purple stuff out. And then the only other thing I use is like a little bit of this. That's all I do. Every once in a while I'll do like a deep conditioning treatment or something like that, just to make sure it doesn't get dry, which my extensions always got really dry. I haven't had any issues with like my natural hair. So there's that. I cleaned my face. I also self-tanned, so we got that going on. Why did my dad call me? It's 9:30. I'm going to wrap up a couple things on my laptop while I sit on the couch. I feel like I'm just gonna work, but you know. And we have our last meal, cream of rice with some of the new chocolate brownie batter protein. So good. And then I just put some sprinkles and a bunch of almond butter on top. First of all, I literally spilled water all over my other shirt. I wish I had filmed it because it was kind of comical. Like I just went to take a sip out of my shaker and the top fell off and it made such a mess. But anyways, added some whipped cream to the top of my cream of rice. I just had to show you guys. My dishwasher is running right now, and this is my only spoon. Do you see how freaking small this is? And I just had to comment because I know it's like a thing. I see it on Instagram all the time, and I think it is so cringy and so disordered. People like glorifying eating with like baby spoons and stuff. Like, do you? That was a thing for me during my eating disorder because I felt like it made me eat slower or like take smaller bites or whatever. And I think a lot of people do it like during prep and stuff, and like, do you? But if you're a normal person eating with a freaking baby spoon, like why? Just, if you want to take smaller bites of your food, take smaller bites of your food, but also just eat like a normal human. Honestly, I'm like already annoyed. I'm like, this is gonna be so hard to eat. Thank goodness this cream of rice is thick as fuck. But actually, I got these spoons because I don't know if you follow me or watch my videos during my prep, but I took Metamucil because I wasn't getting in much fiber because I wasn't eating much food, which it's so funny, the contrast cutting now versus then. But I would make it in like this tiny little cup, and so I would eat it with my little spoon. They're kind of like my when I'm out of silverware spoons. And I feel like a little child. I'm going to eat this. I feel like my food today was super, super basic. I definitely will make a point to make more full days of eating where I show you guys like different meals and stuff because I feel like I've eaten like very similar things in my last few videos. Maybe I haven't, I don't know. I know you guys like vlogs, so let me know if this is of interest, but doing like 5 different like breakfast ideas. So like I'll make a different breakfast every day and like show you guys all my breakfast for the week, or like pre or post workout meals or whatever. I'm going to do my check-in with myself tomorrow for my cut. I'll do a little recap, but well, hello guys. Okay, just wanted to sit you down and take you through a little cut update. I need to fold that laundry, so don't judge me. I usually have that hamper in my closet. You can see the brassiness is gone from my hair, which is beautiful. But took my check-in photos this morning and I actually hit a new low weigh-in. Not sure if it was a real low. I guess we'll see tomorrow, but I think I've been cutting for like 5 weeks now. I should have like put a date down, but that's pretty cool. And I started at around 134 pounds. Right now, this morning, I weighed in at 129. Yeah, I'm down like 5 pounds in 5 weeks, which is a decent rate of fat loss. And honestly, my body this happens every time I cut. I just have this threshold. I lost a little bit of weight initially. I think I was just really focusing on like implementing little habits that I knew would make a really big difference when it came to my progression. So things like getting in my steps initially and drinking my water and not snacking, right? Things like that. And so those things make a huge difference. Like even my clients, whether in a maintenance phase or a surplus, if they want to tighten up, I'm like, just pay attention to that. So after that, I kind of just was like stalling for a bit and I made a little food drop. I was like, let's see how we do. Nothing really happened. And then I was like, we just all have like a threshold. And honestly, me eating what I am now, which I'm eating about 1,700 calories, that's like pretty high food for me to lose weight on. And that's just me being honest. I think a lot of people have this idea like, oh, if it's a lifestyle cut, it should be a lot easier, or you shouldn't need to drop food as low or whatever. And if I wanted to lose a bunch more weight, I really would have to drop food lower. But for me, I kind of was like, okay, like I know this is like a threshold for me. And that's when like I really started seeing things start to move. But I'm honestly so happy with where I'm at. Just as far as like the growth that happened during my growing phase. I'm very happy with how this cut is going. I honestly did not expect to lose weight that quickly. And I don't have much more that I want to lose, if I'm being totally honest. Okay, I just want my legs to lean out a little bit. But that's really it. I just want to see some lines and stuff there because I've been training quads for the first time in a really long time. But for me, it's the glute growth. So I'll put some progress photos up now. So this is the start of my cut compared to now. So you can see I have leaned out. And a lot of that I feel like has been in my face, which is weird. Not weird, because for me that's like the first place I gain and lose weight. And then also in just like my midsection. And I can see it in my back too. I'm not putting my back photos just because I don't want to, like I just am not someone who feels comfortable with like my butt in the camera. That being said, I'm going to push for a little bit. Probably a couple more weeks. I would say this is the first week where I was like, I'm fucking hungry. And I had made this drop with food a week prior, but I've had 2 weekends back to back where I just like have not been consistent. My family was in town, and then I had Melissa here, so I wasn't like tracking, which is fine, right? But the thing is, like, if you want to progress in a deficit, it's very different than in a surplus or even when you're maintaining. Like, you have to be consistent, and you have to do stuff when it's hard. You're gonna be hungry, right? Like, that's just, for me, I'm like, oh, I'm hungry, like I'm actually in a deficit. Like, literally, that's it. I'm gonna push for a couple weeks just because, and I mentioned this when I started this cut, like a big reason I'm doing it is because I like want to practice doing stuff even when it's hard and doing stuff even when it's not convenient. This has been like so good just in terms of like, I'm hungry and I'm not just gonna go snack. I don't feel like doing my cardio, but I'm gonna do it. And I've actually had to be like very strong-headed. I train with Will, usually in the afternoons, as you guys know, and like, I'm not gonna make him wait around while I do cardio, so I get my ass up in the morning and I go do it, right? And I think that's something that is just so important, and I never want to be like telling my clients to do something and being a hypocrite, and like I don't do that, right? And it's not to say people like need to do fasted cardio or there's any benefit, but for myself it just works better in my day. I'm not gonna let myself drop more than like another pound or two probably, because I just don't want to be that lean. I don't like, I want to maintain where I'm at after this, so yeah, but I just want to push myself because, like I said, the last couple weekends I haven't been super consistent. So I just want to be like, no, Lexi, like you're sticking to your shit. Back to like my glute growth. So these are, I'll put photos here. The one on the left is from a year ago. I had no ass, and like that was my issue when I competed too. I just like didn't have glutes. You know, the things that I would attribute to the growth, obviously I have more body fat that I'm sure I'm holding in my glutes, but also, I have been training them very, very hard, and not doing as many isolated movements. I've been focusing on a lot more like bigger movements, which I was just like, I just need to like pump up my glutes, hit my booty, like no. And the other thing is like truly taking time to like gain weight. Anyways, that's that, but it's crazy when you actually take time to grow and eat in a surplus instead of always trying to freaking lose weight, what you can do. So there's that. I'm like still in such a good place just as far as like living my life, enjoying it. And I always tell people like being in a cut shouldn't, you know, fitness in general should never take over your life. It's a part of your life. It's supposed to make your life better. And so like, does cutting have its challenges? Yeah, but I feel like it is making me like better, right? And it's pushing me in other ways mentally, and so did growing, right? Just in different ways. So yeah, stoked about that. I'll keep you updated as far as things go with like how I move and adjust things when I start reversing, all that stuff, but did want to give you the inside scoop. So with that being said, thank you for watching. As always, comment, share, like, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see, and I'll see you in the next one.